Hey guys, Lore Lord here. Today is Monday, and you know what that means, lore time. Today for my first ever lore video, I'm going to make a Skyrim video on why I think the Stormcloaks are the better option in the Civil War. I know that the vast majority of players are pro-Imperial, and I can understand why. People think that the Stormcloaks are racist, their government wouldn't work, and that Ulfric is only in it for the power. I can understand why people would think that. However, in this video, I plan to tell why I think that the Stormcloaks are justified, not as racist as you may think, and an excuse. He still promises to legalize Talus worship, but I believe both that he would, and that would be a good idea.
What is it?
Stay away. Let me guess. Someone stole your sword.
Tell me again why we're wasting time and dwindling resources chasing a legend. We don't even know it exists.
The Jarls are upset. You're alive. I owe Ulfric a drink. I have to admit, I didn't think we'd be seeing you again. I misjudged you. You're definitely Stormcloak material. It's time we made this official. You ready to take the oath? Before you're one of us, you must swear fealty to Jarl Ulfric Stormcloak, future High King of Skyrim. You must also pledge unswerving loyalty to your fellow Stormcloaks, to Skyrim, and to her people. That's the spirit. By swearing this oath, you become one of us, a hero of the people, a true son of Skyrim, a Stormcloak. Repeat after me. I do swear my blood and honor to the service of Ulfric Stormcloak, Jarl of Windhelm and true High King of Skyrim. As Talos is my witness, may this oath bind me to death and beyond. Even to my lord, as to my fellow brothers and sisters in arms. All hail the Stormcloaks, the true son.
And the reason I think Ulfric is legitimate about his cause is that he has a lot of reason to be. He fought alongside the Imperials in the Great War, leading Nords. However, he was captured by the Thalmor, and they tortured him, trying to interrogate him. The Thalmor, without directly telling him, made Ulfric believe that the information they were trying to get out of him was to take over, would help them take the Imperial City. However, this was a lie because the Imperial City had already fallen previously. This, of course, made Ulfric angry. Another reason he would be angry is an event that happened a few months or years later, I'm not sure how long after. This event was known as the Markarth Incident. What happened in the Markarth Incident is that the city of Markarth was taken over by the Forsworn, who are a savage tribe who believe that the Reach belongs to them.
You must be the new unblooded.
After they took over, the Jarl of Markarth asked Ulfric if he could take back the city. Oh, and I forgot to mention that after the Great War, Ulfric was freed and sent back to Windhelm, and he was made king because his father died during the war. Anyway, Ulfric agreed to help take back the city, under the condition that Talos worship is allowed within the city. Both the Jarl and the Empire agreed, and therefore Ulfric took back the city. At first, the Imperials did try to keep to their word. However, the Thalmor, who are the governing body of the Aldemeri Dominion, found out and demanded an end to it. The Imperials had to agree to prevent further conflict, and therefore kicked Ulfric and his Stormcloak militia out of the city, and banned Talos worshipped within the Reach. Again, the Empire scammed the Stormcloak, Skyrim. I cannot talk English. This, according to Ulfric, is what really started the Stormcloak rebellion. Let's talk about Ulfric and him killing High King Torek. People say he murdered him in cold blood. However, this is wrong. He challenged Torek to a fair Nordic traditional fight, which Torek lost. Yes, Ulfric used the power of the voice that he was trained to use as to give him an edge. However, there is no official rule that says he couldn't.
10 to 1, they're just waiting for us on the other side.
But there isn't any other way through.
Oh, you sure about that?
And
Be my guest. Strolling on in there.
A lot of people say that the Stormcloaks are racist, and although I think that this is true for some of them, I don't think the same can be said to most of them, or Ulfric. The only reason segregation exists in Windhelm is not because the Stormcloaks, but the locals want it, and Ulfric wanting to stay popular so that he doesn't get kicked off the throne of Windhelm, like that would suck, had to do it. Yes, it is possible that he has some racism toward the other races. However, I feel like this is more because he was pressured to by locals rather than he actually wanted to. Another thing, a problem I have with the Imperials, is that when they captured Ulfric and his top lieutenants at the start of the game, they did not give him a fair trial. You see, at the start of the game, the Imperials were planning to take the Stormcloak lieutenants and Ulfric to Solitude, I think, to get a free trial. However, General Tarius changed his mind and planned to execute him immediately at nearby Helgen. This is wrong, because they did not get a trial, and they got two people wrong. Both you and that horse thief. They were going to execute two people who weren't even Stormcloaks at the first place. Sure, one was a horse thief, and another planned to join the Stormcloaks later. However, when it comes to the Civil War, at the moment, they are innocent. They are executing them just because they were there. And the reason they plan to execute Ulfric and his lieutenants before a trial is because they know that they are wrong. They know that if Ulfric was able to say his point, then that would just escalate the problem. That more people would realize that Ulfric is right. They know, the Imperials know, that they are wrong. They know that they are in the wrong when it comes to the Civil War. They just want to lose an addition to their empire. Because remember, due to several events, both the Great War and the Oblivion Crisis that happened in Oblivion the game, Elder Scrolls 4, The Empire is now just consisting of Cyrodiil, the capital, High Rock, and Skyrim. Which means that if they lose Skyrim, they're technically not an empire anymore, because it'll just be them and High Rock. In fact, High Rock would probably leave if Skyrim got their independence, because they don't want to be a part of an empire that just consists of two countries and or provinces. And people say that the Thalmor don't want Ulfric dead because he is actually indirectly working for them, because the Thalmor want the Civil War and they want it to keep on going because they plan to finish what they started. They plan to invade Tamriel, which is why they don't want either side to win the war. They wanted to carry on so that Skyrim is weakened. Yes, Ulfric is indirectly helping the Thalmor in this way. However, if the player chooses to side with the Stormcloaks, then the war finishes, because whatever side the Dragonborn chooses, that side wins. So, which is why that if the Dragonborn would pick a side, then the Thalmor would lose when it comes to that. And there's the argument that says, yes, but that's why you should pick the Imperials, because a larger, more trained army of an empire would do a much better job of protecting Skyrim, hell Tamriel, from elven Nazis. Good point. However, I have an argument to argue with this. As you see, the Empire is very weak due to the Great War, and also because of the Oblivion Crisis. It lost a huge chunk of its army in the Great War, and it is now spread thin across what's left of its empire. That's why I feel like the Empire would be too weak to defend against the Dominion. Skyrim as an independent country, however, I think differently. One, because it's in Nord's nature to fight, so I think they'd be better at fighting than elves. And also because of its strategic position. Its border on the Cyrodiil border is very mountainous. The only way an invasion from either the Empire or the Dominion from that way is through the valley in which the border is on. And that, which would mean the Stormcloaks would be able to ambush and deal with them quickly. The same can be said about its other borders, which are either mountainous or independent nations like Hammerfell. So the safest way either the Empire or the Dominion could invade is from the northern shore, which would be a bad idea because it would take ages to get troops there. Another thing why the Stormcloaks would probably be able to suffice in a war is because the Dragonborn is on their side, if you've picked it. However, I don't think this can actually be used as an argument, because I believe that in Elder Scrolls 6, which, by the way, Bethesda, get onto it, is not going to have a canon ending for the Skyrim Civil War. Because you see, Bethesda, when it comes to optional options and when it comes to optional endings to a quest, Bethesda usually tries to be very subtle about the ending of that quest. Hell, they probably make it that they probably don't even mention if whether or not the main character did that quest in that game or not. That way, it doesn't really affect what the player did in that game. So I believe in Elder Scrolls 6 there will be no canon ending to the Civil War. But even without the Dragonborn, I think Skyrim would be able to defend against itself, both because of its strategic position and also because of that Skyrim, I think, would be able to survive economically. Skyrim, if it weren't for the Civil War, I believe Skyrim would be like would have quite a stable economy, since all its holds contribute to the economy in their own way. Whiterun has Skyforge steel and the companions. Riften has fish and meat, etc. So I think the economy would be good for military funding, and also just to survive as an independent country.
We'll stay here and watch your back. So sure. Oh, then perhaps we should take a moment to
Those
look
are
around
all
on
the
map.
points I need to make in this video. Hope you've enjoyed. If you agree with me, or even if you just enjoyed my video, please leave a like, subscribe if you want more of this content, and have a nice day.